ko lang, mga kababayan ko, yung biro ko sa jet ski, sinabi ko yan, kampanya. Hindi pa ako presidente.
Duterte bans Philippines cabinet from public remarks on South China Sea. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has banned his cabinet from speaking out in public on the South China Sea dispute, after key ministers engaged in a war of words with Beijing. Tensions between Manila and Beijing over the waterway, which China claims almost entirely flared in March after hundreds of Chinese boats were spotted inside the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. While Duterte has been reluctant to confront China over the issue, his foreign and defense secretaries have repeatedly criticized Beijing for its refusal to withdraw the ships from the disputed waters. Earlier this month, Foreign Secretary Teodoro Locsin tweeted an expletive-tagged demand for the Chinese vessels to leave the area. Chinese counterpart: "This is my order now to the cabinet, to refrain from discussing this West Philippine Sea issue with anybody," Duterte said in a recorded speech late Monday, using the local name for the sea. "If we have to talk, we talk only among us," Duterte told several cabinet members, including Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, who previously described the presence of Chinese boats as an incursion. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque was allowed to address the issue in public, Duterte added. China has ignored a 2016 International Tribunal decision that declared its historical claim over most of the South China Sea to be without basis. Duterte has set aside the ruling in exchange for promises of trade and investment from China that critics say have largely not materialized. Philippines: Duterte says won't withdraw ships from contested waters. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has rebuffed a call from China to withdraw vessels from disputed areas of the South China Sea and said he would not bow to pressure, even if it jeopardizes his friendship with Beijing. The Philippines has boosted its presence in contested areas of its exclusive economic zone, EEZ, including Thitu Island, near to Chinese military installation, in defiance of the months-long presence of hundreds of Chinese boats it believes are manned by militia. Duterte's remarks in a televised address aired on Friday come as pressure builds on him to abandon his pursuit of close ties with China and stand up to what his defense chiefs say are blatant provocations. "We have a stand here, and I want to state it here and now again that our ships there, we will not move an inch backward," Duterte said. China last month said the Philippines must stop actions complicating the situation and escalating disputes in response to a rare maritime exercise conducted by the Philippines. "I do not want a quarrel, I do not want trouble. I respect your position, and you respect mine. But we will not go to war," Duterte said. "I will not withdraw. Even if you kill me, our friendship will end here." There was no immediate response to a request for comment from the Chinese embassy in Manila. Duterte has been criticized for refusing to press China to abide by a 2016 arbitration ruling on the South China Sea that went in Philippines' favor. He drew flack last week for saying the landmark award was just a piece of paper he could throw in the trash. In his televised address, he said he believes in the entirety of that ruling. Legal analysts say South China Sea arbitral win of PH not a mere piece of paper. The decision that invalidated China's expansive claim over the South China Sea is not a mere scrap of paper as how President Rodrigo Duterte described it, legal analysts said Monday. In a virtual forum, law professor attorney Howard Calleja said the 2016 arbitral award is binding, and that China is a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, which allows arbitration as a dispute settlement mechanism. "China has no choice but to abide by the ruling," said Calleja. "Ito po I hindi naman pong kaparasang papulang, it's not a mere piece of paper. It is just a piece of paper that has the effect and force of law and recognized by the international community, except of course by China," he said. "So, I think it is up to the Philippines to enforce it and solicit the help and assistance not only of our friends but the entire international community." Antonio Ligon, another law professor, said the decision of the arbitral tribunal has been recognized by the international community. "Maaring masabi ko na lahat naman ng decision, papal lang yan. Pero itong decision ng arbitral tribunal, hindi pwedeng magamit na adjective na mere scrap of paper kasi kinilala iyan ng arbitral tribunal, kinilala iyan ng mundo, maliban lang sa China. Ligon said. It can be said that all decisions are just mere pieces of paper. But the arbitral tribunal's ruling cannot be described as a mere scrap of paper because the arbitral tribunal recognizes it and it is recognized worldwide except China. A day after Duterte early this month likened the arbitral award to a mere piece of paper that he said he will dump in the waste basket, his spokesman said the context of the president's remark was as far as China is concerned. In other words, iyan ang reaksyon ng sina kaya binabalwala po iyan ng sina, Harry Roque said in a press briefing. China did not participate in the arbitration proceedings and continues to disregard the ruling. Roque said Duterte had already told the United Nations that the Philippines rejects attempts to undermine the arbitral ruling. That is why you have to construe his statement in the proper context, and that context is what he said in the UN General Assembly, said Roque. The context, the proper construction should be pursuant to what he said to the UN General Assembly, which is the most authoritative declaration of the Duterte administration policy on the West Philippine Sea, he added. Manila and Beijing's maritime spat flared again in March after more than 200 Chinese boats were spotted in the West Philippine Sea. China has refused repeated calls from the Philippines to withdraw the boats, prompting Manila to intensify maritime patrols in the area. Duterte said he would not withdraw Philippine ships from disputed waters after he drew flack over his remark that his campaign promise for fishermen in disputed seas was a joke. Duterte had set aside the landmark 2016 ruling over infrastructure and economic aid and investments from China.
ដើម្បីទទួលបានព័ត៌មានទាន់ហេតុការណ៍ព្រឹត្តិការណ៍សំខាន់ៗបទវិភាគគន្លឹះព្រមទាំងប្រវត្តិសាស្ត្រសកលសូមចូល Subscribe Channel YouTube ព្រឹត្តិការណ៍ប្រចាំថ្ងៃ 7 Info